We are so close to the iPhone 14 event, guys. It is happening next week on September 7th, and it's just surreal that we are so close. We've got a lot to talk about in today's video alongside the latest Apple news. So if you're excited, drop a like, hit subscribe for more, and let's jump in. And I want to start here with this new video leak of the iPhone 14 in purple. Now, what you guys are seeing is by no means a finished model or the thing that will be in shelves in just a couple of weeks. This video, which is actually of an iPhone 14 Pro dummy unit, was first posted on the Chinese social network Weibo, and it shows allegedly what the new purple color is gonna look like. I don't know, am I crazy? Let me know what you think of the purple down below, but I think it looks pretty good, not just here in this hands-on video of the dummy units, but in these photos as well that have also surfaced on Weibo. And what's really interesting about these photos is that it's not just purple that's said to be coming to the iPhone 14 Pros, it's also that Pacific Blue is going to be making a comeback. Now listen, huge disclaimer about the video and the photos. These are from random sources. That's why I'm not saying anything like 100% or confirmed. It's possible the hue could be off. It's possible that the dummy units, because they're made of cheaper materials, aren't a proper reflection of the real thing. And most certainly, this is no guarantee that Pacific Blue's coming back. But like, I mean, Pacific Blue was pretty... That was a good, I mean, come on, Pacific Blue, look at this. Probably the most boring part of this leak is that just, again, silver, graphite, and gold are making a comeback, which is like fine because they're staple colors. It's just like, man, we've had these colors for years. Can we just get a true black or something unique here? I don't know. I'm just kind of bored by these at this point. So those are the new colors, guys. But there's a much bigger leak that I want to talk about, and it's something that I have been predicting for months now, and that so many people, so many comments, so many tweets have called me absolutely crazy for. And they've called me crazy because we've been talking about the fact that the iPhone 14 will be able to connect to a satellite when you don't have cell service to either contact emergency services for help or send a short text message, again, with no cell service using a satellite. Yeah, Apple's gonna send hundreds of millions of dollars of satellites up into space that are now gonna connect to your iPhone for text messaging. I know, it sounds crazy. It's a hilarious meme, and I was laughing all the way until we got invites this year. Invites that, yes, literally show an Apple logo in space with the phrase far out. And for me, dude, the invite was more than confirmation that this is actually happening, on top of the countless rumors from some of the best sources in the game that Apple has been working on this feature. But maybe you weren't convinced. Maybe you need an actual person that studies satellites and communications for a living to tell you the same thing. Well, that's where Tim Farrar comes in, who posted a fascinating Twitter thread about T-Mobile and SpaceX's recent announcement. Hold on, wait, what does T-Mobile and SpaceX have to do with Apple's satellite feature? Well, coincidentally, just hours after Apple announced their new September event, T-Mobile and SpaceX announced, guess what, guys? The ability in late 2023 to send text messages using satellites when you don't have cell service. Which coincidentally sounds exactly like the feature Apple's been working on. But what's weird about this announcement is that T-Mobile and SpaceX announced this more than a year before it even releases to any real person in beta, which I have to say I personally find fascinating. Announcing this feature a year before it releases, coincidentally just a few days before Apple's gonna announce the same thing, it's almost like they wanted to beat Apple to the punch. And according to Tim Farrar, who studies this stuff for a living, he said the exact same thing, that these are half-formed concepts that were put forward, and the only possible conclusion is that it was designed to preempt next week's Apple announcement. What is Apple announcing? Their own free messaging service with Globalstar that should begin as soon as the iPhone 14 is released. I don't know what to say. This is just what I've been saying all along. There's just too much smoke here for there not be a fire. Are you really gonna tell me that Apple's main new feature is a larger camera bump? I mean, look at the size of this thing. Hey, this is actually the case that I use every day, by the way. You guys have given me a ton of questions about which case I use and why, and it's actually Casetify who sponsored today's video. What I've been rocking on my 13 Pro is the Impact case that has 6.6 feet of drop protection, as well as being made of 65% recycled material. But if you want even more protection, there's this. This is the Impact Ultra. This one has up to 9.8 feet of drop protection because it's got these reinforced corners that you don't get on the standard Impact, and the design selection is literally better than anyone else in the market. Like, not only did they send me some of the coolest cases that I've ever seen on their website, there are so many more to choose from, and you can even customize customize it and put something like your name on them. I mean, they're perfect gifts, but I've been loving mine for myself. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm constantly switching up my case because it's so much fun to have a different design on, and you guys can get one of these for yourself over at casetify.com/iupdateyt to save 15% on your order. Link is down below in the description. These are so cool, and hey, have a nice day. Now back to the video. Okay, we're back. Now let's talk about the other thing, aside from the iPhone 14s, that Apple is announcing next week at the event, which is a new version of the Apple Watch, or should I say 2 or 3 new versions of an Apple Watch. To break it down, Apple's got a new Apple Watch SE, which is a budget version coming, a new standard Apple Watch Series 8 coming, and then this all new Apple Watch Series 8 Pro coming, which is gonna be like $1,000, this high-end watch with better battery, bigger screen, and more. Well, we've gotten new details recently from Mac and Sakara about the Apple Watch Series 8 Pro, and it apparently is going to have a screen nearly 2 inches in size that will be 47 millimeters. For context, right now, the biggest Apple Watch, which is the Series 7 on my wrist, comes in at 45 millimeters. So Apple is increasing that 2 millimeters again, which means this screen is gonna be gigantic. Lots of people are envisioning concepts that look like this, where the screen is completely flat, but the body is a little bit rounded, kind of like the bottom of a MacBook Pro or something, which I think looks kind of nice, but also looks kind of weird. I just don't think myself or anybody else realizes how large a 2-inch screen is going to be. Like, this is about 1.91 inches, and it's pretty large. Like, I love it. And even bigger, I don't know, it's going to definitely, I think, turn some people away more than it'll turn people on. I mean, genuinely, I feel like this is the product that we know the least about, and I just can't wait to see what it actually looks like and what new features we're getting, as it's supposedly aimed toward extreme sports athletes. I feel like it's going to be crazy. And with the screen size increasing so much this year, a big question has been about Apple Watch bands, because amazingly, through all of the changes that the Apple Watch has undergone structurally since it was initially released in 2015, every band since the Series 0 has worked with the new model. Mark Gurman tells us that the bands, even though they might look a little bit weird or not work perfectly as the new released Apple Watch bands will, that yes, your old bands, no matter how old they are, will still work with the Apple Watch Series 8 Pro. So I'm going to take Gurman's word here. It does sound like your old bands are going to work with the new watch, and you won't have to replace or restart your entire collection, which is super good to hear. Another really interesting rumor we've gotten for this Pro high-end watch is that Apple's already working on satellite connectivity for it, but don't expect to see that this year in 2022. According to Mark Gurman, Apple is actively working on the feature, and they're planning to add it to a future Apple Watch, but it's not clear if the satellite texting thing that is apparently coming on the 14 is coming next year on the watch or the year after. I mean, generally for big features like this, the iPhone gets it first, and then it comes to the watch, 1 to 2 years later. But even with the satellite feature on the watch not coming this year, it's still going to be a crazy upgrade. I mean, iPhone 14, iPhone 14 Pro, Apple Watch SE, Apple Watch Series 8, and Apple Watch Series 8 Pro. That is going to be an absolutely bonkers event, guys. I'm so excited. Of course, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications so that you are up to date on all the news, as it is going to be a crazy next couple of months full of Apple events and products. Basically, thank you for watching. I love you guys. Check out Casetify as well. Again, down below, they are like the best cases out there. I've been Sam. Love you. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.